We have lots of Tesla stock news to get into in this video that is causing Tesla to rally over 4%. To some degree, if you are a viewer of this channel, you expected this news to come out. But Wall Street, on the other hand, remains clueless on Tesla. This is setting you up for big gains in the months ahead, and I think you need to hear this. Now, on a technical basis, Tesla stock just broke above the infamous 200-day moving average, and it looks like we are about to close above it. This could mean even more upside to come after today. We have all of this information and much more. We're going to look at the option activity, the shorts, and how much money they are potentially losing today, and what's going on in the broader market. So if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. They're free 99 to do so. If you guys want to come trade with us live in real time, every time I make a trade, I send out alerts. Link down below in the description of this video. Let's go ahead and get into it. The biggest piece of breaking news that is by far having the largest positive effect on Tesla stock is something we have reported on extensively here on this channel. Quote, India is reportedly considering a request from Tesla to lower tariffs on imported electric vehicles, according to the Indian government officials. Tesla asked New Delhi for an initial tariff concession that would allow it to offset India's steep customs duty of 70% for cars worth less than $40,000 and 100% for cars worth $40,000 or more. Why India could be such a big market? It's not the Model 3, it's not the Model Y, the S, the X, or the Cybertruck. It is your lower priced model. You know, there's a lot of fears on Wall Street, and this will become more apparent into 2024, that a lower priced EV, like a $20,000, $25,000 Model 2, call it, would cannibalize some business that you would otherwise see with the Model 3 and the Model Y. In other words, if you were offered a very similar product, maybe 100 miles less of range, roughly similar size, maybe the Model 2 is a little bit smaller, but it was going for $25,000 instead of $40,000 for the Model 3, and basically everything else is pretty similar, well, a lot of people would go to that cheaper price vehicle. That would mean less for Tesla. Now, this cheaper price model would do very well in India, where a Model 3, a Model Y, and obviously higher price models might not do as well. Now, India is looking for a commitment from Tesla to build a factory. That would be the offset to lower tariffs, or maybe no tariffs at all for Tesla. If Tesla committed to build a factory in India in the next 1 to 3 years, that's where this deal would ultimately take place. And this factory presumably would manufacture very low priced Teslas for that specific region. It's also worth noting that about 16 million 2- and 3-wheeled vehicles were sold in India in 2022, compared with fewer than 4 million 4-wheeled passenger vehicles. Many new cars in India sell for $10,000 to $15,000, so Tesla's existing cars cost more than many customers are willing or able to pay. This might open up the door for even unique vehicles that Tesla could venture into, like a 3-wheeled car or something that is much smaller to accommodate India's preferences. India is also one of those countries where if you look out over the next 100 years, India might be the largest country in the world by GDP. That's very possible. They do have the largest population. Ultimately, GDP is what? Population, productivity, output. And obviously, if your population declines, things of that nature, that weighs on GDP. So India is a really important market. If you can get into EVs now, something customers want, well, that's going to mean big dollars down the line. Even if it's not today, even if Tesla doesn't sell a lot of EVs today, years to come, 10 years from now, India will be a very important market for Tesla. The second biggest reason why Tesla stock is going so much higher today, keep in mind, Moody's downgraded the U.S. credit rating to negative on Friday. That is having zero impact to Tesla today. Quote, British Petrol Station giant EG Group just announced it will buy Superchargers from Tesla. It is the first deal of its kind entered into by Tesla with a third-party charge point operator in Europe. EG wants to expand from 600 chargers currently to over 20,000 across 3,600 locations. The chargers will be available to all electric vehicle drivers. Quote, the chargers will be branded EV Point and will leverage Tesla's industry-leading technology. The value of the transaction is undisclosed. And then Rebecca Tanushi, Tesla's senior director of charging infrastructure, said, the rapid installation of reliable, easy-to-use EV charging infrastructure is the right step towards a sustainable future and a key area of focus for us at Tesla. For this reason, we're excited to make our first charging hardware available for purchase to EG Group and other leaders in the space. And let's be honest, Wall Street is a funny place. Now that Tesla stock is really outperforming today, and you have these two hit news pieces, take a look at the articles that are coming out on Tesla. Take a look at this one from the NASDAQ. Tesla stock, reasons to buy the pullback. Yeah, we weren't seeing anything like this for a long time until today. But I think more so, this really highlights just how underpriced some of the upcoming positive catalysts are. At this point, I even have to make the argument, is the Cybertruck priced into Tesla stock? It's not like this was a huge surprise that Tesla was going to be expanding into India. They've already leased an office building. Like, this comes to me as no surprise at all. But Wall Street was totally caught off guards today by this. And I think this India piece is a lot larger, or having a larger impact to Tesla's performance today rather than this EG charging piece. That's cool. That's awesome. That's going to bring in some dollar hollers, but it's not causing Tesla stock to rally 4%. It's the India news. So really, what's priced in? Licensing of FSD, that's not priced in. Tesla raising prices in 2024, that's not priced in. Tesla beating on earnings, that's not priced in. I would make the argument that Tesla just not lowering prices is not priced into Tesla stock. This could mean some very big gains for 2024. And here in the short term, I've been very clear on this in multiple videos now, but if you are just discovering this channel for the first time, or maybe you've missed what we've said in other videos, here it is. Towards the end of 2024, especially once you enter into 2024, the markets are going to be positioning in stocks that will benefit from rates going lower. We don't know how low rates are going to go. Right now, markets are pricing in up to 1% of rate cuts for 2024. Whether you get 1%, whether you get half of 1%, whether you get one rate cut, whether you get 2% of rate cuts or more, doesn't matter. Wall Street likes to position in things that will benefit from the current macro environment. That is, rates going down. I think Tesla is in a very unique position. It's not a risky stock. It's not a debt-ridden stock. It's not a stock that needs to raise capital to survive. It's the opposite. It's a safe business that is in a sector that is just organically growing, right? EVs are not going away. We're not going back to ICE vehicles. Tesla is self-financed. Tesla is highly profitable. Tesla has some of the best technology you can buy. It has lottery-type aspects to its business. FSD, robots, licensing of FSD, robotaxi, all of these different things that could make you exponentially more money over the coming years. But what's the simple fact of the matter? Tesla will benefit the most, I would argue, than any other company, especially mega cap companies with this degree of safety, by rates going lower. It will mean Tesla's investments, Tesla's expansionary efforts, well, they're going to be able to do that now at a cheaper price when rates do come down. 90% of vehicles, when they are purchased, are bought with loans. That should mean more people are able to get a Tesla. Just you know, that's the simple fact of the matter. Shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. But I think one thing that is clearly not priced into Tesla stock is Tesla raising prices when rates go lower. Most of Wall Street is expecting margins to bottom out here, even go slightly lower in 2024, based on a recession or not. I'm going to sit here and tell you that I expect Tesla's going to raise prices probably $5,000 to $10,000 across the board in 2024. Maybe more, just depending on how far rates do go lower. And I think this was the first day that Wall Street is realizing Tesla is the one that's going to benefit from the macro environment in 2024. You can see Tesla is retaking its 200-day moving average, and this could set us up for even more gains in the short term. Now, I don't know if Tesla stock's going to fall 3 months from now. That's possible whenever there's fears of a recession or some kind of bad thing out there, banking crisis, whoever is the next bank to fall, or there's so many other things that can happen. But I think in the near term, you're probably setting yourself up for quite the rally. And this 200-day moving average is being talked about quite a bit here. If you can actually sustain a rally and move higher from here, not just fall tomorrow, find support again at that 200-day moving average, but if you can move away and start to move up from here, that could set you up for a much larger move higher into year end. If you take a look at the RSI, that is at 49.22. Neutral is 50. So Tesla stock as of right now is neutral. Even though you were just in the 190s, now you're 224, you're still neutral on Tesla stock. And this 200-day moving average, in case you guys don't know, is so important because that's where the trading algorithms trade off of. If you get breakdowns under your 200-day moving average, a lot of the time you can break down quite a bit. Like back here in October, you were around 215, right? 217. You broke this 200-day moving average on the downside, you hit 194. Same thing over here. You hit 226. You fell under your 200-day moving average, you fell back down to 205, right? Almost 204. So you can get big breaks to the downside, but also big breaks to the upside. And this could easily send us to 240, 250, even potentially by the end of this week, if not over the next coming weeks. I think a lot of what we can expect for the markets really comes down to CPI tomorrow, as well as retail sales on Wednesday. Before we get into the rest of your Tesla stock news and analysis that you need to know today, we need to look at the option activity. Take a look at this. So the open interest, basically just the amount of contracts for this week, whether they're calls or puts, the open interest, meaning what percent is calls, what percent is puts. Well, the volume today is 56% calls and about 44% puts. The open interest is almost exactly neutral at 49.5% calls, 50.5% puts. Today's activity alone, you have seen 1,072 orders totaling $1.92 billion with a positive order value of 54%. That's incredible. That is very positive compared to what you've seen last week, which last week's positive order value was 35%. So I'll take these numbers any day of the week. Taking a look at the dollar amount that's currently sold short, that's at $17.3 billion. You guys got to remember, at the same time as what I just mentioned, Tesla is by far the biggest beneficiary of rates coming down. It's the highest quality that you can really find that's going to benefit from rates coming down. Obviously, small mid-cap stocks are going to benefit. They're not a Tesla, right? Most of the time, they're not profitable. Most of the time, they have to raise capital. Tesla is a far different creature than other stocks that benefit from rates going lower. A lot of institutional investors can't even touch small and mid-cap stocks. Any institutional investor can buy a Tesla as long as they're like allocated to grow things of that nature. If they're dividend investors, obviously they can't buy a Tesla, but generally speaking, Tesla is in the biggest place to benefit. Tesla also boasts the largest short position of any stock on our markets. Tesla alone is over 2% of the entire stock market's short interest. And the shorts have been piling on as Tesla stock has been going lower. And as Tesla stock goes higher, those losses, well, they start to compound very quickly for those that are short. So it is possible that you could even start to see a bit of a short squeeze, even a gamma squeeze, if Tesla stock does continue to break out at this same degree in which you've seen today. We do have some earnings coming here shortly, Tuesday pre-market, so tomorrow at the same time you get CPI. We're really going to break down CPI a lot more in the video later on tonight, so I highly recommend you guys stay tuned to the channel for that one. But you have the Home Depot. Home Depot is very important for obviously housing and how the consumer is doing. If Home Depot gives us bad numbers, that's obviously not going to be great. And then Target Wednesday pre-market and TJX are other big ones. Palo Alto Wednesday after hours, Alibaba Thursday pre-market, and Walmart pre-market. Those guys are all going to be very important for the state of the consumer. Sawyer Merritt points out this fun fact. Back in 2020, there were only 16 different pure EVs available for sale in the US. Today, that number sits at 47, and just in the course of about 3 years, that is a 193% increase. Parker's has named the Tesla Model Y as its company car of the year in its new car awards for 2024. With a choice of 3 powertrains, there's a Model Y to suit a variety of needs and budgets. And a Cybertruck was just spotted near downtown Boston for the first time ever. ExxonMobil wants to be a leading lithium supplier for EVs by 2030. ExxonMobil plans to begin producing lithium in Arkansas by 2027. Tesla announces on their Tesla manufacturing page that V4 superchargers are now available at Giga Berlin, open for all EVs. And it looks like we're seeing a record number of Cybertruck gigacastings at the Texas Gigafactory. Hyundai said on Monday it will hike wages for non-union production workers at its Alabama factory by 25% by 2028. And Nvidia just announced their new H200 GPU. It can handle massive amounts of data for generative AI and high-performance computing workloads, such as Tesla's neural network training for FSD. In August, Tesla turned on their new 10,000-unit H100 GPU. There is no announcement as of yet if Tesla plans to purchase these, but I would imagine they do have these plans. It looks like Thailand reported 289 Tesla sales and 3.7% market share for October, and this is 1,813% higher than the same period last year. And it looks like Tesla's price policy is receiving a lot of attention in China. Weibo-related search terms show Tesla price cuts, /increases, etc. So there's a lot of people trying to figure out what Tesla is going to do next. Holmar's catalog asked Elon Musk or anyone else on the Tesla team, quote, any guess on when customers might first be able to try out FSD 12? Elon Musk says in about 2 weeks. Tesla's inventory numbers continue to be roughly the same as the last week or so. You're seeing a little bit of a downturn in the Model Y. The Model S and the X are staying pretty stable, and the Model 3 inventory numbers remain very, very low. Tesla Google Trends data also trending downwards a little bit, but that is as to be expected since you are still at way higher elevated levels than you were even during this period of 2022. So you're still at very elevated levels, but are starting to trend downwards just a little bit. I expect this will pick up dramatically after November 30th when the Cybertruck is officially launched. And Tesla continues to run about 300 different ads. Again, a majority of them for the US, some for Europe, and some energy products for Australia. Take a look at this article. Tesla analyst draws parallel between the Model 2 and Apple's iPhone. Quote, game changer that will crush ICE viability. This is from none other than Gary Black. He says, quote, I continue to view a $25,000 Tesla, the Model 2, as the game changer that causes ICE competitors to capitulate, said Future Fund managing partner Gary Black. The fund manager said that although he is also confident the level 4 autonomy could produce a similar impact, he believes that Elon Musk-led company's unique advantage to mass producing a high-quality $25,000 EV at a profit will crush ICE viability. Delving into the potential design of the Model 2, the fund manager said it will be highly attractive. He said, The Model 2 should resemble the Model 3, but be a hatchback and the size of a Toyota Corolla. According to the analyst, this will establish price to value parameters and minimize the cannibalization of the Model 3. This comes after Ron Barron said we can expect the Model 2, your $25,000 EV, within the next 18 months or so. Bond yields today overall are flat. 10-year Treasury yields up 0.008%, so literally like nothing. Your 10-year Treasury yield sitting at 4.63%. So today's 4% rally, I mean, it's not really being helped by yields falling. Yields have actually risen over the past 2 or 3 trading days or so. ELT is down about 1/3%, representing that yields on your long-term bonds did rise a little bit today. Oil was actually up about 1.6% today. That's not the greatest sign. The dollar was down about 0.2%. That is bullish. Gold was up 0.5% today. That's an interesting move considering we really didn't have much like global fear or anything that happened today. So that's something I want to be watching pretty carefully. But overall, what a day for Tesla. And it looks like indeed Tesla did close above its 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average for Tesla at $221.10. Tesla stock currently is $223.51. So if you were going to get rejected and things were going to turn bearish from here, it probably would have happened as resistance at that 200-day moving average. That did not, and we rocketed higher. This is a really good sign. The Tesla stock, well, has a lot more gains to give us potentially in the short term. But this is just the news. This is just what the charts are saying. I am not a financial advisor. I am not a financial planner. I am not anyone you should take financial advice from. Do what you want to do with this information. If you're bullish, then be bullish. If you're bearish, be bearish. If you're short-term bullish, medium-term bearish, long-term bullish like I am, well, hey, congrats to you. Hopefully we're correct. But nonetheless, guys, that is going to do it for this video. That is everything you need to know on Tesla stock today and what's going on out there in financial markets. Again, it was a pretty good day across the board. A lot of different stocks did very well, even considering Moody's did hit the U.S. economy with that negative rating. Seems like it's being brushed off since they continued to hold their AAA rating for unsecured long-term U.S. debt. That is going to do it for this one. We have a lot to go over in the next video, including ChatGPT that predicts Tesla stock price in 2024. And your CPI report tomorrow, and some data that came out today that supports retail sales might actually come in lighter than expectations. All of that and much more at 9 p.m. tonight. Thank you for watching. If you guys would like to come trade with us live in real time, if you guys like what you heard here, you want more perspective, you want to get into the nitty gritty, learn, grow, trade with us over there, link down below in the description of this video. My name is Michael Tyler. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.